They've won Tonys and Oscars and Emmys and Grammys. There's no red carpet because they're home in their jammies. From Melrose Place to Broadway to Janeway and her crew. Let Seth and James bring all the stars to you.
Anywho.
They're entertaining everyone, so who's gonna grouse? Just sit right back and you'll hear some tales on Stars in the
Hi, everyone. That was written by Scott Logsdon and Dana Rowe, and that was Liz Calloway Belton.
That's right.
We just changed shirts. We didn't know what the exact
we're a
same
little
color.
bit late because we basically were wearing the whitest of shirts, and we were completely, I don't know, white.
But now we're twinsies.
Yeah.
And into the Who. Welcome to Stars in the House.
Oh, I forgot. We have these new mics from SiriusXM.
Just like this.
Now that we're on SiriusXM Stars 109 from 4 to 5 Eastern, 1 to 2 Pacific, we got these fancy mics, but we have to talk like this.
Yeah, we have to talk soft. It's not sexual. Just talk normally, but into the mic. Anyway, so we're raising money for the Actors Fund. We've been doing it since March. The Actors Fund, if you don't know, is for everybody in the arts, no matter what you do, actor, singer, dancer, yes, but also anyone backstage, front of house, anybody. By the way, it's across the country.
That's right.
So of course, TV and film, but also people that are caterers, makeup people, hair people in the Midwest that are ballet teachers. Anything you do, you can go to the Actors Fund and say, I'm an artist and I need help paying my rent, paying medical bills, getting health insurance. And everyone's running out of health insurance, as we know, and no one's really working. So the Actors Fund is doling out like 10 times the amount, like per day. It's a crazy.
Maybe be more than that.
It's crazy how much the Actors Fund is needing to help because everyone is running out of health insurance and nobody's working because people are not wearing masks. So the point is, if you can donate right now, you donated starsinthehouse.com.
Yeah, so we have something new.
Oh yeah, that's brand new.
So
you can text.
Yeah, you can text now, Fund 2020
to a very special number that doesn't really mean anything. I don't know what the number stands for, but hold on, it's got to come back.
Hold on.
Text Fund 2020 to
056512. You know, with texting donations, it's not like a full phone number, Seth. It's just like, I don't know how it works.
I do. You know, you go 56512 and then you do Fund 2020 and then it says how much.
There you go. See?
But then you're going to get a receipt. Then you're going to forward that receipt to starsinthehouse2020@gmail.com. And then we'll get that. And then we're going to send it to one of the stars tonight. And Tina will read it in her Liz Lemon voice. Exact same voice as Tina. The point is, just forward it, and then we'll send it out. So you donate at starsinthehouse.com, and then you forward it, Stars in the House 2020, or you can text it. Actors Fund is for everyone.
That's
and
right. And our new total is raised for the Actors Fund from Stars in the House viewers, $372,450.
Yeah, just from viewers. We don't have any corporate sponsors. It's just people sending in 5, 10, 50. So
and occasionally people with will do like especially corporate matching. That's been happening.
Yeah, if you can,
not as much as you would think.
If you work for a company,
yeah,
Actors Fund is usually matched.
That's
so
right.
if you have a match, like SiriusXM matches Actors Fund donations. So just check that out.
Right.
And did you want to read anything before we bring Darius?
Oh yeah, we had. I wanted to read. By the way, these are new glasses, so they are from Jenny Hutt. We were on Jenny Hutt.
Look how cool these are.
So like these cool. I'm going to try to do. When we ran tech for Black Theater United for their first town hall, and Audra McDonald spent about 15 minutes adjusting so the ring light wouldn't be like that.
Yeah.
It was the entire time, but I know what she's talking about.
Cool it is.
But it actually adjusts. So it adjusts down. So we're gonna try this. But anyway, we got a couple of great letters, and I wanted to read them from our viewer. This one's actually from Munich, Germany.
München.
And how would you pronounce his name? Ken Locichero?
Locichero.
So he wanted to thank us for doing all these Stars in the House episodes. I live alone in Munich, and I'm a huge theater fan. Your shows have allowed me to feed the part of me that thrives for music, community, education. It's so sweet. Thank you for sharing your time and talent with all of us.
And people watch these shows live. That's what I love. Thanks for staying up, München.
Yeah, thank you for staying up. Well, you know what, Seth? Let's get to our Black Theater United rep here today. And
so Black Theater United was founded by all of our friends, Darius and Billy Porter and Shelley Williams and Audrey McDonald and Vanessa Williams, LaChance, and Darius DeHaas. He's here to give us what we should all be doing to help support Black Theater United. Darius, what is up?
Hello, guys. How are you?
Hi,
Darius. Oh, my goodness. Thank you for having me.
Of course.
Thank you for having me. My goodness. Yes. I'm here to ensure and announce and push and shout, please fill out your census.
That's
It
right.
is so important this year. The census is so important. You have it right there in the banner, 2020 census.gov. I mean, historically, it has been so important, particularly for we people of color, for everybody to be counted. I think there are a lot of misconceptions about the census in terms of that people feel they may be deported or whatever, but that is not the case. That is not the case. Please, everybody fill out the census. It is our privilege. It is our right. And, you know, it draws our legislative maps and how federal funds will be allocated. $1.5 trillion, you know? So this is about getting money for hospitals and schools and roads and countless other things. So it is so, so important. It can't be stressed enough.
And Darius, Black men have been notoriously undercounted by the census.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, I think there is a kind of sort of an attitude of, you know, because, you know, we are hit with so much in this country in terms of, you know, systemic racism and all of the things, and that people feel like, well, what's the point? What's the point of voting? What's the point of showing up for these different things where they say we be counted? What's the point of going to the hospital when we're sick? What's the point of wearing a mask? You know, and it really can. It's almost insidious in terms of how we can fall into a bit of a disparity, and that is what people in power count on. You know, not everyone in power, but a lot of people in power count on you being in that disparity and just not wanting to account for yourself. Because this is about accountability, and you know, people have fought so hard. I mean, people have died for this, and I cannot stress enough. You know, particularly as you say, you know, Black men, Black people, people of all colors, minorities. It is so important to be counted in the census, and particularly this year.
And it doesn't take that long to fill out either.
No, not at all, not at all. And look, I'll tell you, my Uncle Andy, who ain't got a computer, he barely has a phone. He's got one of those old flip phones and everything. And he depends on me for doing so much now with him. And I'm trying to get all this stuff together. And he was like, I have to fill out my census. I say, yes, you do. We will get you on the phone with a census taker, and they will, and they filled out the form for him over the phone.
Amazing.
So, exactly. So
that's good news. It's good to know for older people. All right, so there you go, guys. It's 2020 census.gov. If Uncle Andy can do it, you can
Uncle Andy can do it, then you know you can, because Uncle Andy ain't got nothing. So, so if Uncle Andy can do it, you can do it.
All right, thank you. Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much for having me. Have a great show.
Thank you. Keep singing. Bye, Amber. All right, so we are celebrating 30 Rock. Is it a dream? It's coming back.
Gosh, we're so excited.
I can't even tell you how excited I am. So we're gonna bring on various people. Let me first start with, he constantly wants to change his background. He wants to shave, but there's no time. The Music Man himself, Jeff Richmond. Hi, Jeff.
Hey, guys. How are you? I didn't freeze. No, I'm always used, I had my camera over here, and then you guys came on. I got on late, and I'm one of these guys that I like to have a nice kind of a cool hip background, but I whipped around to this side, and now I don't know what to do, and now I look like my beard's so huge, but it looks cool.
You have New York City over your right shoulder, so that's view. Come on.
I do, and I think that's Bernadette Peters' home. As a matter of fact, that you're looking out back there.
Great. Now I'm going to stalk her. Yeah. Okay. Then we're going to bring up Jenna Maroney, actor announcement herself, Ms. Jane Krakowski. Hi, Jane. Shockingly, you're muted for the first time in your life. It's a lot of sass. Okay. Incredible movement.
For our SiriusXM listeners, Jane Krakowski is kissing the screen.
Wait,
and still muted.
You got to ask your son how to unmute.
And looks beautiful.
Wait, did I mute you? No, you've got to mute yourself. There we go.
Hi, Jane. We need to get Bennett.
Thank you so much. I'm doing it again. Take two.
Okay.
Thank you. There's no one in my home, but thank you so much.
No one's applauding. And then finally, she was an extra on 4 episodes. She was an under 5 in season 2. and then started co-starring the wonderful Miss Tina Fey.
Hi guys,
Hi, Tina.
how are you? James, I need those glasses that tilt.
Right?
It's Jenny Hutt. I'm gonna hook you up with Jenny Hutt.
Tina, not only that,
They're called peepers.
they go like that, so they go
Peepers is
down.
not a
But
cool
look, they also go like this.
So you can sleep on your side and read. It's
They
like literally
go-
one side folds down, so you
It's
can
like-
actually go on your side.
Peepers.
Yeah, I'm writing it down. Peepers. Hold on. I'm very happy that I'm
Yeah,
putting it there.
yeah, Jenny sent me not one but two pair.
Ooh, peepers.
Now, by the way, on a side note, we're literally already getting donations, which is amazing. We're
Oh,
getting so
that's
early.
great.
Don't forget, you can go to the Actors Fund if you're an artist. You go to actorsfund.org. You can say, I cannot pay my rent. They go, how much is your rent? You tell them, and they will give you the cash. I mean, it's that amazing. And obviously, if you have money, you can help those people that need the money. So you donate. There's all that information there. Then you forward a donation. And I said, Tina will put on her amazing character voice, which is unrecognizable. And then
Yeah.
read the information.
I have a lot of other voices.
It's all good. Tina Fey, so before we get into this new episode, and I'm sure we talked about this, but just give us a little bit on how 30 Rock was created. Did Lauren Michaels come
Beginning
to
or
you?
this time?
No, the first time.
Just-
Before we
yeah.
get into just the first time. Just give us some background.
Oh my gosh, so long ago, I was working at Saturday Night Live, and I'd worked there a long time, and I was trying to figure out how to graduate. And I pitched a show to NBC at the time. Originally, it was kind of about a similar dynamic to Jack and Liz, but it was at like a cable news company. And back then they said, you don't want to write about the news. It's bad. It's not fun. Back then.
Wow.
And they said, come back, try. And Kevin Riley, who was the head of NBC at the time, said, maybe write it about a show like SNL. And I was like, oh, that's just so lazy to write about the. But then when I went to retool it, I thought, I could, if I added Tracy Morgan to this, then instead of it being a two-hander, it might be this kind of crazy triangle of people who can agree and disagree and have different points of view and be silly in different ways. And it never occurred to me to use Jane.
She's right there.
I literally
wow.
almost got a real spit take.
It was literally
My keepers. Let me
It
fix
was
my
like literally timed perfectly.
because Jane, I know Jane, you weren't on the pilot, and then you came in when the actual show was done, right? You came in for the very first episode, though, right? Because you weren't on the initial one.
Correct. Yeah.
So
2 times I've brought Jane in. Jane wasn't in the Kimmy Schmidt pilot either.
Tina, you need those peepers because you look crazy.
I feel like this is good. I'm not seeing any light reflections.
There you go.
Come in your eye.
But let me ask you something, Tina. It's so funny. You're creating Saturday Night Live, but
Oh,
every
God.
sketch. Oh, we are seriously, some listeners are going to love all this physical comedy.
Yes.
Oh, right.
That actually looks really good,
For
Tina.
our XM radio listeners, I took my top off.
But I was going to say, Tina, for creating Saturday Night Live, every time Jane is doing a sketch or anyone's doing a sketch, it's always like the most unfunny sketch. Like TJS has the worst.
There's a couple stories there. One, I sort of knew that it was going to be reductive, right? Like you could never, and we came on around, if you recall, at the same time as Studio 60. I'll take these off because I can't go.
Oh, right.
And it was funny because on that show, every sketch they would be like, "This is funny. This is going to change the world." And I think coming from SNL, I had thought like, no, it's not. It's never will. So we always wanted to have the show within the show be smaller than 30 Rock, as opposed to try to make it bigger. And then there's the story behind the one sketch that we always had recurring was a sketch called Fart Doctor. Which, Jeff, do you remember the real origin of Fart Doctor?
I do. He used to be a senator.
Who was the
He
real
used to be a
fart doctor?
senator. And he's from Minnesota.
When I was the writer of SNL, sometimes people who used to work there would send in sketches, and Al Franken, like more than once, faxed in a long sketch called Fart Doctor and said, like, this is really funny. You guys should read it at the table and you could use it. And it was about a doctor who could tell what was wrong with people by smelling their farts. And it was like fine, but it was really long and it didn't really play at the table. And he would never believe it. He would never be like, "You're not doing my sketch." And he definitely sent it at least twice, and we would have to sit there, and he wasn't there. We'd have to sit there for this like 15-page sketch. And so that was my payback for him was that I named like the worst sketch on TBS was Fart Doctor.
Wait, he sent it in seriously? It wasn't like, wouldn't this be a horrible sketch? It was like, hey, this is an amazing idea for us.
It was kind of funny. It just didn't fly. Like it was kind of funny because like the twist in the real Fart Doctor sketch was like the guy's examining people and he's like, wait a minute, someone in this room is very sick, and then the twist is like the doctor next to him farted and is trying to deny it, but he like saves his life.
I thought it was fun.
Kind of funny. We should have done it.
End of story.
I imagine that's his biggest regret.
There were also all those horrible catchphrases. Wasn't Jane like your big comedic catchphrase? Like, that's a deal breaker. It's like so unfunny on 30 Rock.
That's a deal breaker, ladies.
You remember that, Jane? You used that.
Yeah, deal breaker was a big one, and
Robot Bear Talk Show.
Yeah, and then there was the eating one where
Pam,
I was roller skating overweight.
Yeah.
Right.
That was in the pilot, the overly confident, morbidly obese woman or something like that.
No, but then again, I want food.
Me
That was
want
the only
food, yeah.
T-shirt that Jenna ever got, and I was like, for real, like in real life, when you went to the NBC Experience store, I thought, oh my God, maybe I'll get a T-shirt. And like 4 years in, I got a T-shirt, and it was an overweight sketch of me where I'm like 50 pounds heavier with like 5 chins.
Yeah.
And it said, me want food. And I was like, wow.
And it's because, do you remember why? Because you were in the musical version of Mystic Pizza.
Her character.
And so you had to eat a slice of pizza or whatever, a pizza during the show every night.
Which, I mean, with synergy, this could all happen when Melissa
it really
brings it to
could.
Broadway.
I know that's really happening.
Tina, that's
Yeah.
you. You write stuff and then it happens.
With synergy. Hey,
You're
Jeff,
like
do you remember any?
amazing like that.
Do you remember any songs from Mystic Pizza, Jeff?
I wish I had thought. I just thought of Mystic Pizza now. I wish. Maybe by the end. Do you remember?
You get a pizza with extra
yeah.
sauce. I need
I'm
a
sure
pizza with
everything
I don't
on
remember.
top. That's all I know.
That's it.
But if I had thought about it last night, I would have
Wait,
pulled it,
didn't
dusted it
start
off.
with like, you
Also,
know,
I've never seen
JoJo.
it.
Yeah,
Never
go ahead.
started- You know,
Sing it, Jane.
JoJo. When life keeps giving you anchovies.
Right.
Anchovies.
That's
You
right.
gotta hit it with some.
You want to order a pizza with extra cheese and make a pizza with what you got and make a pizza.
Yeah, something like that.
If anything is too similar, we will sue.
By the way, Jeff and Tina, we're getting all these comments. Someone just said, when will Mean Girls tour Latin America? Is there an answer?
It already is.
No, well, there is an unlicensed production in Spanish that you can see on YouTube. That's pretty amazing. There is. There's like a Spanish language unlicensed. I don't know.
That's the answer.
I hope.
When I'm getting all these donations, Tina, do you have your phone with you?
Yes.
I'm going to text you
Yes.
in your best Liz Lemon.
Oh my God. Oh my
Oh
God.
my God, I love this. I love that it's another voice.
These are just some of the donations.
Just read these out.
Yeah, it's just to thank everybody. Thank you guys for donating anything to the Actors Fund.
Yes, guys. Thank you for donating to the Actors Fund. Hold on. Let me put my. Oh, but if I put these on, okay.
Okay, look down.
Cindy from Massachusetts, love 30 Rock, $25. That's Liz Lemon as the Kathy cartoon. Valerie from Delaware, thank you, $15. Do I say the amount or just the person?
Yeah, why not?
Nicole from Florida, $10. Be safe, Nicole. I hope everyone around you wears a mask.
Right.
Dana from North Carolina, $5. Thank you, Dana. Charles from New York, $40. It's because everything costs more in New York. Thank you, Charles. Zach from Florida, $25. Thank you. Giselle from Florida. That's a beautiful name, Giselle. $28. Maybe it's your 28th birthday. 28 is my favorite number. Maybe Giselle knew that. Andy from Texas, $50. Bridget from California says, I'm a huge 30 Rock fan. Thank you for tonight. $25. You're very welcome. And Mira from California, $77. Thank you. That's awesome.
Yay.
Thank you, everybody.
Yay.
And speaking of 28, Jane, do you remember how old you claimed to be when Alec Baldwin confronted you?
Oh.
I thought it was 20. Was it 29?
It was, and you knew your history. Here we go. I have this clip.
I love it.
Oh,
Too old? What's too old?
That's a very good question. How old are you?
I'm 29.
What year were you born?
1977.
When did you graduate high school?
94.
When do you turn 40?
2017.
Junior high crush?
Kirk Cameron.
Prom theme?
Motown Philly, Boys to Men.
What movie did you lose your virginity at?
Arachnophobia.
Theater or drive-in?
What's a drive-in?
Pretty great. That's pretty seriously lying about your age when you have every question memorized for the right answers. Actually, I remember that day of filming because it was, and I think we then changed a shot, actually called the Carlock after that, but it was one that Alec demanded that we do in a 2-shot, so they couldn't change the timing of the scene, which actually did help for that. But then ever since then, I think now we always did individuals in case we had to cut in. And I think they called that one, especially when it was a walk and talk, when it was a Carlock. So if you had to cut in, you could.
Because we were always struggling to get the show to time also.
For time, yeah.
So we're always
so many
squeezing out
amazing
air.
jokes.
Yeah.
You mean because you had to cut
many
so
amazing
much?
jokes.
Yeah, because
We
a
had to
half
learn
hour, a broadcast half hour is 21 minutes and 15 seconds. So we'd have like a 32-page script and we'd try to get it. So we were always upcutting and stuff.
It's so fast moving. And by the way, Jane, I just found this one clip that we did 1,000 years ago. Speaking of your age, when James and I and my friend Jack were doing Disaster off Broadway, we went to all the celebrities and we said, "Oh, say your favorite 70s movie and your favorite 70s song to help promote Disaster." And Jane came up with this gimmick. This is us in New Orleans. We filmed this. You were so funny. Here we go.
Okay, my favorite disaster movie and song from the 70s? Come on, Seth, please. You know I wasn't even born in the 70s.
We made that in the bathroom.
Amazing. Who was Jonah holding the disco ball? Who was the disco ball? Jonah was standing on top of a stall.
That's such a funny reference. Of course, he's so happy to be mentioned. Hi, Jonah. That's so funny. Okay, we have one more amazing Jenna Maroney clip, which I'm so obsessed with because you're basically talking to a 3-year-old child. It's so funny.
To just catapult on me.
Do you act? Because we should do a movie together where we're on a road trip just being sluts.
God, it's so wrong.
But wait, did you have to edit that on purpose?
No, it was part of a really, really quick clip. I can only get that little thing.
I love that. I love it. Because we were going to go on the roads being sluts together, weren't we?
Yeah.
Just
We're just going to be sluts.
Before we bring on our chief medical correspondent, Jon LaPook, and we have our little break during the show, how did the 30 Rock special come about? We were really so excited.
Literally a dream come true.
Yeah, I mean, by the way, we're off tomorrow because Broadway Barks is going on, but I was thinking it's like, is Picture in Picture still exist, where we can watch the 30 Rock special and have Broadway Barks on, because we have to be
That's so
watching
early
the show tomorrow.
2000s,
I know,
I will
right?
say.
It's like, does it exist anymore?
You can TiVo it. You can web TV it. Remember web TV? That blew everybody's mind. You type on the TV. So this special came about every year. The NBC and all the networks do a thing called the upfront presentation, where all the new shows get announced, and it's basically just a corporate presentation for advertisers. And they all come to New York City, and it's like you get to go to like parties, and maybe you get a free lunch from your agent. And obviously none of that can happen this year. So the networks are all doing different things. And NBC thought it might be nice to actually broadcast their presentation, and they asked us to write a 30 Rock around that, which I guess makes sense because the show was about NBC and about television itself, and had this relationship between art and commerce, or comedy and commerce. And so we said, sure, yeah, because what else were we doing? We're stuck home. So we wrote it really fast. We got a writer's room of 5 or 6, I can't remember off the top of my head, of the original writers who were also all like stuck at home. And we worked over Zoom, and Robert Carlock and I wrote the script, and then we shot it. Like, it was all done within a month. So, when it's a little sloppy, that's why.
And how did you do it, quote unquote, safely?
Well, Jane, you should talk about this, because everyone filmed in their own homes. I got to step out onto the street. It was thrilling, but all the crew monitored us remotely and stuff. But Jane, please talk about your experience.
Yeah. So, well, first of all, if any actor never appreciated the entire crew, this kind of thing makes you appreciate everyone who works on these things, because we were asked to do every job: hair, makeup, set decor, lighting. I mean, a huge dolly came to our house. I think they were quite ambitious to make it more than just a Zoom, like a Brady Bunch Zoom episode, which is incredible. But so we all had our own little home helpers, and my 9-year-old son Bennett was my main home helper, and he literally was doing, absolute Jenna special effects with me. When I needed a fan to hit on one lyric, the boy had it. Like, I had trained him well. And he kept saying, quiet on set when there's no one else in my home. It was hilarious. At one point, he asked for a union break. I was like, okay.
There was a really cute moment the first day that Jane shot, because we start, at 8 in the morning or whatever, and Bennett was doing the slate and the thing and fixing. And then about an hour and a half in, Jane said, "I'm sorry, I just need a little break to make my son some eggs and toast." Because I just got up and started working.
It's the joys of working at home.
And
it was really super special, and it was such a gift to see everybody again. And like the minute we all did a read through, it just felt like all of our old energy, and we didn't really act with each other either. We were really just on the other actors in your scenes, unless you had Tina, weren't there. So you just sort of fell into the rhythms based on the read through and what we had gotten to be so lucky to do for 7 seasons.
So you did a whole read through, all of you, with the script, like
on Zoom, yeah. And Jeff was the cameraman, lighting, DP, everything.
Hair touch-ups.
Yeah. He had to touch up my flyaways. It was, and you were exhausted at the end.
I was so tired at the end of the second day. I seriously thought, and I don't want to bring down the room, I thought I had COVID. I was very tired, very exhausted.
Yeah, but your signature is being tired, because I even
that's true. Thank you. I'm glad
you literally
still talking about it.
You're like, if I stay awake, I'll do the show today. So I can't quite have sympathy. I have a clip. I have a little coming attraction. I told Jane she was not featured, and she almost had an S fit. But here is a coming attraction for the show. Sorry, Jane.
Thursday.
No mask, hotshot?
We're in an open-air system.
You scared of the virus now?
I already had corona. I was on my way to donate plasma.
Boom! Another successful interaction with a man.
30 Rock returns.
Shut up!
With an all-new reunion special.
Dreams really do come true. How did you slap me?
I have the iPhone 40.
30 Rock, a one-time special. Thursday on NBC.
See.
It looks so good.
Thank you.
It looks like TV.
How many of those sets have you guys been in? You've been in my house? You've been in Jane's house?
I was going to say, I recognized everything.
That looks a little familiar.
You walk your dogs downstairs.
Yeah. You walk your dog out front. Yeah.
I know.
I know that building.
In that scene, though, just for the fun that I got watching that preview, because I haven't seen the whole thing yet, but when I saw that preview, all the doormen from across the way, Tina, are watching you film.
They're all gathered.
And they're like, what's happening? It's so fun to watch. It's like watching, the extras in an elevator when you're.
So it's going to be on NBC, then it's going to be on Peacock, and then all the episodes are going to be on, right? Or something?
It's going to be on NBC, and it's also going to be on, I think it's going to be on, USA and Sci-Fi and some of their other platforms, because it's kind of advertising all of the platforms.
Basically anything that NBC Universal owns, it'll probably be on, right?
Yeah.
And so, Jane, before we take our medical break, Bennett operated what? Because people want to hear you say a certain thing. Bennett operated the.
Oh, he operated my camera.
Okay. Just want to make sure you made that actor announcement.
All right, everyone.
We're going to see you in
a
5 minutes. Thanks, guys. See you soon.
God,
wait, no,
that's
Jeffy, go start warming up those fingers. We're playing.
Okay.
Here's our doctor, our chief medical correspondent. Sorry, NBC from CBS.
That's right.
But also from Stars in the House. We're nonpartisan to networks. Here we go, Dr. Jon LaPook.
I'm sorry, my face is hurting from laughing at, but I'm still laughing at Jane's son saying, when there was nobody on the set, quiet on set. He was just describing.
It's just
what
that way.
was happening.
Right. It wasn't an order. It was a description.
He was observing. Anyway, Jeff, Jane, Tina, thank you for my face hurting.
which we kind of need these days.
Oh, wait. I have
by
to
the
ask you
way.
something so
Yeah,
important,
go ahead.
Dr. LaPook,
What?
because I was talking to James about this. I so want to be clear about this.
Oh.
This is my question. Can you be infected with COVID-19 and then get a test and still come out negative because you haven't yet, quote unquote, seroconverted in a sense?
Or shed the virus. Is it?
Okay. Yeah. So this is easily the single biggest misconception that I've been asked. It's of the pandemic. So we'll go. It's really worth going over again because it's important when you're thinking about who you can safely visit. Let's take it for instance. Today's Wednesday. Okay. The incubation period of this virus is 2 to 14 days. So let's say I get infected today. It's now going to start incubating in me, but I don't have symptoms. I may never get symptoms. All right.
And you won't be testing negative, right? But even though you're infected.
Right. So I'm just going to go along. So I got infected today, this Wednesday. Next Monday, I get tested. I'm still not shedding. I'm destined to shed. I'm destined to become infected, let's say, in 10 days. But it's only 5 days. So if I get the nasal swab, it comes out negative. And I go, I'm safe. You're not safe because it's got to go a few more days. It's got to be up to 14 days. So then 5 days I test negative, but then in another 5 days I could test positive. And that's why it's so important that if you're about to visit somebody who's really vulnerable and you want to be sure that you're as safe as possible, you quarantine for 14 days. And it doesn't matter that you got tested it's great that you got tested. It's all layers of protection. If you test negative 3 days before the visit, that's fine. But if you got infected 6 days before the visit, you could then blossom and start infecting that person even after you tested negative. And remember, the tricky thing is that you can be shedding the virus even when you have no symptoms for 2 to 3 days before. So that's why you have to do the masks and everything else, the social distancing. Outside is safer than inside. We know now because we're seeing more aerosolized spread, the tiny droplets past 6 feet. It's a lot safer outdoors than indoors. But I have some good news tonight. You want to hear it?
Good. Yeah.
Yes.
Go.
So Ruth Bader Ginsburg is out of the hospital.
Yay.
Yeah. So people have been asking about this and confused. You remember that last August she got a stent in her bile duct because she had a recurrence of pancreatic cancer. She got radiation.
Right.
And then the liver drains bile, that yellow stuff, and it goes down, let's call it a stream, goes down a stream. That's what the bile duct is, the common bile duct. So that stream can get full of debris and it can get clogged. And like a stream that gets logs in it, right, it can start to back up. And if that happens, it can get a little stagnant. And in the body, if things don't flow the way they're supposed to, you can get infection. And that's what was happening with her. They went in, they gave her intravenous antibiotics, but they cleaned out that stent, probably a metal stent that had gotten clogged.
Oh.
And now she was able to be discharged and home. So
That was so quick.
that really quick. I have to say I was praying for this, and I'm really, she's still obviously in her 80s. And I'm going to say a little RBG story that you don't know about. So I saw her get interviewed by Bill Moyers, and he asked her who her childhood heroes were. And she said her mom, because her mom told her to be, independent, but also Nancy Drew, because she said like the Jills and the Janes, they were sitting around in pretty dresses, but Nancy Drew was solving mysteries and going on adventures. And the other person who she had one fictional, that was the fictional. The non-fictional was, can you guess it?
Hero from her childhood?
Well, Amelia Earhart. How are you going to guess?
Adventurer.
Amelia Earhart, because adventures. Anyway, that's a fun RBG facts, and I'm kind of floating a little bit tonight because I am really so wanting her to be healthy. So.
Yeah, one day, man. That was nothing. Bravo, and good work on the prayers. But I hope everybody heard, you can test negative, and it does not mean that you're not already infected. So the whole temperature checks, I tested negative, you can get tested, and then if you quarantine for 14 days totally by yourself, then you could be okay after 14 days. But you can't test negative in the morning. That afternoon, you could be shedding virus. So everyone needs to cut and wear a damn mask.
And the antibody test, we're not at the point now where you can use the result of that to make any clinical decision. Just leave it at that. It's great epidemiologically, figure out who might be infected in an area, but it's just, we're not there yet. Leave it at that. But yeah, wear the mask, support public health figures actually giving us information. We're seeing what's going on with Tony Fauci and the CDC. We want our doctors, our scientists, our researchers, our public health figures to be giving us the information. We've got to get behind them. That's what I have to say.
All right, Dr.
Right.
LaPook. Well, thank you. And I agree. Dr. LaPook is a ray of sunshine on a gloomy day. Still got it. See you tomorrow. Oh, no. See you in 2 days.
Yes.
See you
Friday
today.
night. Bye, Dr. LaPook. Okay, we're going to bring on some fabulous 30 Rock folk.
Bringing on everyone.
Everyone. So first, a little Tina Fey. And FYI, I just saw something so sweet about you from a little in Espanol. Tina Fey, te amo.
Thank you, Romina.
I thought you'd appreciate that. A little camera, Jane Krakowski. The music man himself, Jeff Richmond.
I have a question for Dr. Pook, but he's gone.
Oh, you do? Hold on. No, here it comes.
Hold on.
I'll be right back.
Dr. Pook. Hi. Can I trouble you with a question?
Oh, wait. Yes. Hi, I'm back.
Hi. So, Jeff and I, we're not in the same spot right now, but we are married and we have 2 kids. We have a teenager who wants to get tested, and a couple of her friends get tested so they can finally spend a long weekend together. Is that madness? Or if they get a test and then quarantine until
Yeah, exactly. So think of just the one person you want to see, or your child wants to see.
Mm-hmm.
When you see somebody, you're not just seeing them. You're seeing everybody they were with for the previous 14 days.
Mm-hmm.
So the devil's really in the details, and you've got to say, okay, their friend number 1, where were they? Oh, I was fine. I was by myself. Did you see anybody? Yeah, I went to the hairdresser. Who was the hairdresser with? Oh, the hairdresser actually was with the Mormon Tabernacle Choir, just the intersection. And so you really have to go and see, who was infected to who. The 2 to 14 day incubation period is what makes it so hard. It doesn't matter if your child gets tested today, and everybody, all of them. How many of them are there?
We have 2 kids, but she wants to bring 2 or 3 friends if they all get tested. But.
So they all get tested, and they're all negative today, and they start spending time. And on Friday, they start shedding virus because they got infected 5 days ago. That's the problem. That's the problem. Now, if they want to be together, and we should talk offline seriously, because So my soon-to-be 98-year-old father-in-law is coming to visit us.
Norman Lear, Lily Norman Lear, by the way.
And I have my brain is exploding on the details of how to keep him safe.
Yeah.
So I've really gone down the rabbit hole on layer upon layer upon layer of how you do indoors, outdoors, masks, no masks. I think I have about as safe a protocol as you can, but that's all the way to he is so vulnerable he cannot get coronavirus, right? And everything else, these decisions about kids, and it's how, so 2 to 14 day thing. The second thing is, where are you in the world? So if you're in a place where there's not much coronavirus, that's important. And the third is, how vulnerable are you? Are you somebody who, if you get coronavirus, you're more likely to get real serious illness? So it's so complicated. Really, your brain hurts as you go through this whole algorithm. Bottom line is, if you're outdoors and you're 6 feet away from each other with a mask, or 20 feet away from each other without a mask, I think that's pretty safe. And right now, since it's summer, you can kind of do that.
Yeah. Okay, that's very helpful. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. L.
Oh, geez.
Well, Norman Lear, hello.
I know we have to keep Norman Lear protected.
I
Come
know.
on, not since Ruth Bader Ginsburg, national treasure.
I know, man. I'm going to bring on the rest of the cast. I heard that. How about a little Tufa? Hello, Keith.
Tufa.
Hi, Keith.
Hey.
What's up, guys?
And How about a little Dallas? Scott, remember his nickname was Dallas?
Hi.
Not bad.
I still go by Dallas in my private life. That was something I insisted on when I first got hired.
Thank you. And everyone's favorite executive assistant, Maulik. Hello.
Hi, everybody. So fun to see everyone.
So, guys, how is it, Maulik? What was it like for you to film again? I want to hear everyone's story.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Well, I did just like a little thing. It was just me and Tina, like Jane was saying. It was just like Tina on Zoom, me looking at a camera, not looking at Tina, hearing her in my voice. I remember we did like the first take, and I was like, wait a minute, that's so weird. There's like a weird delay. Like you're literally not acting with another person the way you would normally act with someone. So it was strange. But it was so fun to like get to dust off old Jonathan and like just be a part of this thing that, I mean, we haven't been on the air in 7 years. Is that right?
Yeah.
We'll just come back.
So Jonathan is still working for Jack? Hasn't Jack fired him like 4 or 5 times?
No, Jonathan's, where is he now, Maulik? He's not working for
Should we talk about this or should we wait till tomorrow night?
Okay.
Jonathan is now producing horror movies based on his life experiences with Liz Lemon. So there we go.
Hilarious.
Oh, that's so great. I found a clip of one of the many times you were sort of fired.
Fun catching up with you. You too. You take care now. You too. Fire her. And don't ever make me talk to a woman that old again.
I can't fire Rosemary.
Yes, you can. It's easy. Observe. Jonathan, you're fired.
What? No!
The timing is so good, Maulik.
Oh gosh.
Hey, Maulik, let me ask you, was that in the script? Like, there's such a Mr. Burns-Smithers relationship. Was like the worshiping in the script, or that developed from you sort of just adding it?
Well, I would love to ask Tina about this because I have had this theory for years that my very first day on set, I saw Alec and I was like, oh my God, it's Alec Baldwin. Like, he's a movie star. And I was like, sort of equally in love and terrified of him at all at the same time. And I feel like
that never goes away, by the way.
Like that's who Jonathan is going to be.
I believe, if I'm correct, I think Maulik you're in the pilot, right? And you have no lines, which is like a nice lesson for actors. Like sometimes young actors will be like, oh, I don't want to take that. It's like Maulik had no lines, and he just was so funny with his expression and his body, and it was also such a delight to be around that we were like, oh, we should just keep bringing that guy back. And then every time we tried something, it always worked. So I always think of that as a nice thing to tell young actors.
And that's true too, Tina. It was very smart on your part to cast the writer's room that way as well, with talented people who are ready to go, and they didn't speak for so long.
Yeah, people like Anthony and Tamik and Sue Galloway. So funny people in there.
Yeah.
And of course, Keith. So what was it like for you getting to film again?
First of all, I want to say I've been watching, and no one mentioned my favorite song that Jeff wrote, which was Muffin Top. Like, I still sing that around the house. But
it's a national treasure when Jane sings it.
Funny tiny story about this special. So they mailed us, Jen Greenberg and Teresa Masterpierre, our wonderful set designers and decorators, mailed us all these things to hang in our homes. So Jane got all these pictures of herself as Jenna, and one of them was her in her muffin top dress. It's a huge picture. You'll see it in the background. And the NBC Standards woman said that dress is too revealing. That picture, and we said that picture is from an episode of TV that you let.
It wasn't too revealing 10 years ago.
And I this woman, Nancy Goodman, who I really get along great with and I enjoy her. And she was like, yes, but no, it looks a different color. Anyway, that we had to go in and digitally make the dress more clearly not nude. Because Jane's knockers are out.
That's incredible.
But I still got my muffin top.
I've developed a muffin top myself, so that's why I sing the song now. But for me, filming was fun and easy. My biggest challenge was that I had my 1.5-year-old daughter screaming in the background as I'm like, getting the set ready. And I'm trying
She was doing all the camera work, right?
She wanted a union break. And and so we gave it to her and gave her snackies. But so, like she's screaming in the background as she's leaving the house. So my wife was going to take her for a walk around the corner while I was shooting. And, she saw me, getting ready and decided that she had some notes for me. So that was fun. But yeah, shooting it was really great. We got to shoot in my house. I don't know if it ends up on camera, but there's a photograph of me hugging my grandmother, who my daughter is named after. So my grandmother was one of my parents. And so I got to sneak that onto the set. It was great.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Keith, I found this clip of you when they pull a prank on the writer's room and they say that there's a gas leak in NBC. And I kept watching because I'm like, was your scream overdubbed or are you a crazy coloratura?
I can go that high.
Oh my God.
You're about to show me shirtless, right?
Yeah, yes. It's incredible.
I mean, you radio listeners, you're missing out on a show.
Yes. HOT, watch this.
The gas is unknown, but it is triggering the building's auto locks.
Oh my God! What do we do? What do we do?
Anyone still inside should disrobe immediately.
Give me my hat on! I don't care, man! Get him off! What? Get your shots off!
Gentlemen, I wanted some of the TGS dancers to see this.
Forgot about that.
Sexy. That screen, for all the table reads, I'm the high-pitched laugher. So every time we're reading it and there's a joke and I find it funny, everybody laughs like a normal human being, right. and then you hear me in the background going, always the case.
And Scotty, what was it like for you to do the show again?
Oh, well, I mean, there's nothing more pleasurable than being with these people. So the table read was really the best part of it. Shooting in my house was hard, but it was fun. but it was harder than you would think because my girlfriend and I had to do everything together and try to make it work. We did, but we were also the guinea pigs. We were the first ones shooting. So we made all the mistakes for everybody else to learn from. But it was
I was like, while you were filming, Scott, were other Tina, you were watching at the same time? So
yeah.
you were notes?
We're watching on Zoom, so you can or I could text notes to Oz Rodriguez, was the director. Oz Rodriguez did a lot of stuff at SNL. He did worked on the SNL at Home episode, so we knew that he would know the current way of working. But yeah, I would watch. Scott, we have when the show airs tomorrow night. There's one more little treat in your scene that you don't know about.
Oh, really? Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Am I still in it?
You're still in it.
Okay.
Surprise.
That's a surprise. Wait, Scott, I interrupted you. What were you gonna say?
Just the table read was the best part of it. Just being with everybody, and I wish it was all in the same real room, but it was almost good enough. And Jane, you're so right. It was just like being there 7 years ago, or even better. 9 years ago.
Jane, I'm about to text you some donations to do in your Jenna Maroney character, but Scott, I actually found a sex scene with you. I don't know if you would like to watch it. This is when
I feel so pigeonholed these days.
It's when you're staying at Liz Lemon's house and she finds random Pop-Tarts that she's eating and she thinks you're having an affair, and then she finally walks in on you. Here we go.
Gross! Liz! Paula? You're cheating with your wife? Why didn't you tell me about this?
That's my fault. I get off on the sneaking around. Who knew, right? So how are your parents?
Oh, no. We will catch up later. I just came to get a clean sweater. Oh, blurb! Why is there a Pop-Tart in the bed? What do you do with the Pop-Tart?
Oh!
The great Paula Powell.
Yeah.
Powell.
Yes.
Paula Powell.
I'm really surprised that Liz didn't walk off with that Pop-Tart.
Yeah, that feels like we dropped the ball there.
Drop the ball. Well, Jane, let's have some donations readings.
Oh, sure. Nicholas from Michigan. You're so beautiful. I see myself in you. Thank you for giving $25. Janet from California. If you didn't give $25, I would have killed myself. Heather from Ohio. Thank you for giving $50.
You ran out.
You ran out of phrases.
And of course, Sharon from California, who has a really beautiful story, you guys. Sharon from California said, when my brother died suddenly a few years ago, 30 Rock was the only thing that helped me with my grief. I must have watched it at least 4 times, start to finish, because it was 100% funny. I finally picked up the Blu-ray collection so the laughs can continue for years to come. So thank you, Tina, Jane, and the rest of the team. And thank you, Sharon, for $25. I know we all feel this way, but filming the show was the best days of our flirm.
Yes. Wait, if people don't know that reference, that is the amazing rural juror. Tina, who came up with the idea of calling something the rural juror? Whose idea was it?
That was, I think, something in the early days of the writer's room. I think you just talk a lot in a writer's room. At first you share stories or whatever. And in that first month, and I something came up and I was saying, I can't say that word rural. I can't say the word rural. And then it just started, we started listing other words that we had trouble saying. And then somehow it found its way into the story that Jenna was in a show or a movie.
Oh, it's a movie.
Called that we couldn't understand and we had to all let it go too long, and we were like, I don't know what a movie's called. And then it came back around 7 years later as she was going to make the musical of it or something, and that's why there was a song. Yeah.
All right, here's a clip.
Hey, I gotta miss an hour of rehearsal today because I just found out from my publicist I've been booked on The View.
Oh, Jenna, that's great. For the first time in your life, you'll be in a room full of women and you'll be the least crazy one.
I know.
Oh, you know what clip you should show? MTV Darfur. You and Tracy were really funny in that.
Oh, this isn't for TGS. It's for my movie. The Ruhr Juror has a limited release next week.
Oh, congratulations. I didn't know they had a release date for for that movie.
And then Dratch played Barbara Walters on The View. It was on The View so that she could say like the Roger. We just get even harder. Oh Lord.
Maulik, did you love like the horrible relationship you had with Liz Lemon? Just the constant insult.
Oh my God. I feel like I got all my best lines were like put downs towards Liz Lemon. It was like such good writing. I feel like I got to like I think I was like your face looks like someone punched a hole in a bag of flour. I think
your face looks like somebody kicked a hole in a bag of your mouth. Your mouth looks like somebody kicked a hole in a bag of flour. That's all Robert Sherlock.
Oh my gosh.
Wait, I literally picked that clip because it was such a crazy insult. Here it is.
But by the way, like this is not even a setup. I literally had no idea that you had that clip.
No, I know. I didn't think I was going to pick, but I just thought it was a bizarre insult.
Greg, I've got the next big reality show. We put a bunch of people on a plane, fly them over the Atlantic. Then Tom Bergeron comes out and reveals that the pilot is a 6-year-old boy. We call it Child Hell Flight.
Get out of here. He is pitching a no-hitter.
What?
Starting at 4 p.m. yesterday, when Mr. Donaghy coined the word in-eventually, he has been flawless.
So why do I have to leave?
Because you have so many unsolvable problems, like your mouth. Looks like somebody kicked a hole in a bag of flour. Ow.
It's amazing how quickly that scene turns from like defending him to like a personal attack.
Yeah.
Was he Reaganing in that? Was that Reaganing?
That's Reaganing, yeah.
Yeah.
That's so weird. Hey, Jeffy, will you play us any of the theme songs since you're by the piano?
Sure. I'll give it a shot. I always thought that Jane, she's good on stage. She's a good singer, but I always felt that her song Muffin Top really wanted to be something a little more. Everyone knows that the most delicious part of the muffin is the top. My muffin top is all that whole grain low fat. I know you want a piece of that, but I just want to dance. Checking out the sweet hips, my sugar-coated berry lips. I know you want to get with this, but I'm just here to dance. So back up off of me. You're weirding me out. You're weirding me out.
I love that new Krakowski version.
Really thought that was dang.
Fiddler-esque.
And so we use that a lot when that was early on, and that came back around a lot. Jane, you must have sung that. You sang that a bunch.
You sang it at like the Kennedy Center, right?
Yeah, I know, at the Kennedy Center. that song has been performed.
No, I did sing that
at the Kennedy Center. That's the short version. Everybody had a little theme song, and I could try. This was a song where I just tried the exercise of how many times can I modulate through a song, and so I will trip up playing it and singing it at the same time like crazy. But count, Seth, how many times I modulate in this song?
Okay.
And it was the first song that was written. It was for actually we thought this might be the theme song from the show. It was like a that girl kind of thing, and the lyrics were written by my friend Michael Thomas, who also wrote bum 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 ba-dum ba-dum bum bum ba-da-da-da-da, wrote the words to that. So
Mr. Lucky.
Mr. Lucky, right. All right, get ready. This is and so it sounds a little like Downtown, a little like Tula Clark.
I love it.
Who's that kicking it down the street, causing a stir? Who's that? I know that you're wondering. That's her, that's her, that's her, that's her. Who's got the kind of charisma the boys prefer? Who's hot and you know that she knows it? That's her. She's like a summer sky, a slice of cherry pie, the rarest butterfly. Oh me, oh my. Who's got a charge card at Denny? That's her. That's her.
Yes.
Wait, the climax is a charge card.
Charge card at Denny's.
Yeah, that's right.
It modulated 3 times. Just FYI.
It modulates. It starts in C, and then it moves to D, and then it moves to E flat. It moves around a lot, but sure, 3, great.
I counted.
That's that's kind of where things were.
First of all, is this going to be one of those like Will and Grace things where you guys did an episode for funsies? And
in
then
an election year, by the way.
Yeah.
Like Will and Grace.
Are you guys going to come back in the air for the next 4 years?
Well, I think 1 a year is sure.
1 a year?
One a year is great.
Why can't you come back more often than that?
We'll take 1 a year. 1 a year would be awesome.
Like maybe like a Christmas special, like all the British shows do.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my
of
God. The
course.
Office did that.
Nobody's doing a Bob Hope special every year. There's no reason why Jenna Maroney couldn't be doing the new Bob Hope special every year. Every Christmas.
There was so much antagonism between characters. This is between Jane and Yuki. You're so not having it. Hold on, here we go.
I'm gonna get back at them. I have this fantasy of sneaking up to the roof of 30 Rock and we make love while looking out at the city.
Okay, let me guess. You figured out Frank and I lied to you, so to get even, you're trying to get me naked on the roof and leave me there. Nice try.
Where's Frank?
I love that she's undaunted.
Yeah, exactly.
I have no memory of that. What? I have no memory of that. I don't remember that.
That was early season 1, I think, wasn't it?
No, season 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's before you were on the show.
That's before you were.
When Maya was playing Liz.
There was another I think in like later seasons where we try to get her, like the pranksmen try to get Jenna to do like a in a room together, and then Judah and Jane start making out, something like that. I totally remember. That was so surprising to read through. Yeah.
I'm not sure that actually happened.
No,
I know it did.
you never got it. Well, it happened in a read through.
No, it really happened. I still make out with Judah regularly.
We all do.
All right, I'm testing you on some lines. See if you remember them. Tina, do you remember saying, "You know I can't wear green, Jenna. The Clinique lady says."
I have witch undertones.
Amazing.
Horrible thing.
That's what we have the shirt you had on it first. That's what we can say. We have.
Okay. How about this? I guess two could play at that game.
Who says it?
You do.
Me?
Yeah, you qualify that. I guess two could play at that game.
Oh gosh. I guess two could play at that game.
Who is she saying it to?
Alec Baldwin.
It's probably a joke about a game, like another.
Yeah, it's a joke about describing two could play at a game.
Right.
I love these joke forensics.
Yeah. What's the next word?
Oh, someone literally in the comments section, Tina, someone already knows the line.
Oh, I love it.
Let them have it. What do they say? Let them.
I guess two could play at that game, and then you say, just like most games.
Oh, Amy.
Amazing. Okay, Jane Krakowski. What about this? Listen up, fives.
A tennis speaking.
So gross.
Not a horrible quote to have follow you the rest of your career.
There you go.
Okay, how about your paper diet? I can only eat paper, but
I can eat all the paper I want, and then I try to make out with a metal uniform thingy. What are those things called?
a suit of armor.
A suit of armor. Right. Thank you.
And my final one is, your new vibe is a double-edged sword, much like
The blade Mickey Rourke tried to kill me with. Something like that.
Yes.
There's something Mickey Rourke tried. If you go and look at all the things that Mickey Rourke and I did together, and then we tried to get him on the show. No wonder why he didn't say yes.
Do you remember in I think the last episode, you actually turned to the camera and said, I don't know.
I've never met him.
Never met you. After 7 years.
Can I just say there's these little song clips that I kind of sometimes you forget about, and because we were making this special, I went back and watched the last season to sort of catch up with all the characters that left off. And Secret Plan is one of my favorite things, and it's become my son Bennett's favorite thing because he sort of analyzed it as a joke like immediately. He's like, why would you scream that last note when she's right behind the door? I'm like, that's the whole joke. So he plays the whole thing. It's like, secret plan, revenge on my mind. Oh, pumpkin spice, please. Secret. And then I hit a high C.
Yes.
Yeah. And I think we reverse engineered it, Jane. We just let you sing it. And then I remember later, I went in and wrote like a James Bond theme around it.
Oh,
it was
is that right?
so fun. Another one I was thinking of the other day in my pool. I was
you live in an apartment.
I'm sorry. No, anyway, in my pool in the country. One of my favorite Jenna things was one of the shortest things, and somebody is telling you something very important, and then you're sitting there on the other side of the room, and you just start in your head. You're singing a duet to yourself in your head. Jenna's bright as the sunshine, but you're in two-part harmony, and it's beautiful.
With myself.
With
Jenna
yourself.
is listening. Yeah.
Jenna is listening like the sun in the sky. That's how it is.
The harmony is so beautiful that I did with myself, said Jenna.
Yeah. There were 91 short songs in 7 years. I went back and went through it.
Is that right?
91 wow 20-second songs.
Oh my God! You wrote all of them, Jeff?
I guess I did, but it's great though because the writers are always so good, and this is what you learn, from working at Second City, and you're working with comedy people and the comedy writers at Saturday Night Live, and then they all kind of came to there. Is that comedy writers like to write songs, and their lyrics are funny, and you have to kind of grab a hold of them and make them scan and work like music sometimes, and it's great to do that. It's just a lot of fun to do that with everybody. You get the funniest songs.
Jeff wrote the theme song. He wrote all the incidental music, all the scoring, every song that you heard from, Werewolf Bar Mitzvah to Muffin Top to Rural Juror.
Hey, Tina, do you remember your middle name?
Mirvaldis. That was my wonderful, wonderful assistant all those years, Katie Mirvaldis. That was her last name. She's Latvian, right?
Yes.
Wow, that was quick. Here it is.
Elizabeth, I don't know how to pronounce your middle name. Lemon.
Mirvaldis.
It's fine.
Mirvaldis.
Mirvaldis.
It's so weird. And Scott, do you really play the guitar?
Not at all. No, that was a process. I realized my wrist got sore because I didn't. With air guitar, you don't bend your wrist around quite so much. So I was really lost.
It's because Alec Baldwin's voice is like a robot voice, and they used it to trick Pete into thinking that Alec wants to be friends with him.
Right.
Will you be my friend?
Friend? Sure, of course.
I'm lonely. Would you like to come to my office tomorrow evening and hang out? Bring your guitar and some beer in cans, and we will jam.
Okay, yeah, great. You ready for this, J-Dog? Jam out, drink some brews, talk about everything and nothing.
Oh, Pete.
So sad.
That is funny.
You guys, I guess
will he ever be happy?
I know. Thank you so much for joining us. We can't wait for tomorrow night.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Thank you to everyone who donated.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you for donating. We love the show so much.
Yeah, thank you so much.
I will.
Thank you for letting me see these beautiful people that I love so much in real time, if not in person.
You guys were all part of such an amazing,
Nice to see everyone, Keith.
amazing show. I'm gonna play my favorite final clip about Jenna's amazing dramatic training.
This is why I hated my first 2 weeks at the Royal Tampa Academy of Dramatic Tricks. No one knew who was the sluttiest, but I showed them. Oh, I showed them all. And when we graduated a week later... Whatever, Jenna.
Right, that just moved.
I showed them all.
Hold on. I'm going to move the mic over here.
Hey, Jeff, I wanted to do, before we go, I want to do a face-off because I actually have the printed music. See what you remember. I'm going to start.
Okay.
The Irma Lerman Merman murder.
Da 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 da. The whirl, the pearl of a twirly girl. She would the world, were demure. The insurers are lower for valor, were pure carry war.
Yes! You're
Here goes Jeff.
World Juror. World Juror. Never forget you. World Juror. For all the ways that I met you. World Juror. I don't know where it goes after that.
You forgot one lyric. One fervid whirl over her turgid era. One fervid whirl.
One fervid
whirl over her turret ever. I love that line.
Turgid era?
Who all wrote that? They're all tongue twisters.
What is
the whole room, I think. The whole room.
So good.
What is it? Irma Lerman Merman murder.
Murder. Turn
the bird's world lurid.
It can be made to make sense. It should be an acting exercise to justify. If you teach a musical theater class, you should try to get someone to justify those lyrics.
Oh my God, it's so funny. All right, so peace out. Everybody watch tomorrow on NBC, and then it's on Peacock. Oh, you're on SiriusXM. Watch tonight on NBC.
That's right.
It's SiriusXM. All right, everybody, we love you. Please come back.
And
thank
you. And Friday night is Ex-Girlfriend.
Oh, and Jeff, as we play ending credits. Can you just play some music to accompany the ending credits, please?
Sure. Yeah.
That's her.